Adobe InDesign working with a text box. In this video, we've got text that's been placed inside of a box, and along the bottom here, if you actually take a look, you're going to see a small box here with a plus sign. That indicates that there's more body copy than actually fit inside of this text. Okay, and what we need to do is basically do a text flow to continue that text onto a new page. In this case, we'll put it on the page next to us. Obviously, if this was a much larger type of print magazine or newspaper, you could link it much further. It doesn't have to be a sequential page. To make a text box, use the type tool. And what you want to do is click and drag across to create your type box. Remember, in InDesign, treat it like a corkboard. Everything needs to be placed inside of a box. Now we've got this type box inside of here. I'm going to go ahead and use the select tool and come back and click that little red box there, and you can see the icon now. It's picked up the text, and all I have to do is then now chain link it into the next text box. So now as I add more and more body copy, so I'm going to double click here to get back into my type tool and just copy some body copy here. And you'll see here that as I add more body copy and paste here, the text continues to wrap until it no longer fits, and now I've got on this side here we actually also have that little overflow icon. So here you can see it's connected to this, but as this text increases, so we'll just copy some more sentences here. And the more you add, basically, then now this needs to be flowed into the next page. So that's what that little icon actually there means. Right now I'm going to delete that out. If you need your text to be into multiple boxes, you want to select the actual text box with the select tool and look up here. If you don't see this particular layout, you want to go to Windows and select Workspace and go to Advanced Workspace. The Advanced Workspace, you're going to see a lot of different options here. And what you want is this particular one where it's number of columns here. If you increase the columns there, what you're going to see is the text automatically gets split into columns. So column 1 goes into column 2, and then we go into the text flow will go into the next page there. So you can quickly and easily increase the columns just by selecting how many columns that you want there. Now if the gutter, the space in between the columns, is too small, you've got the gutter options that are right next to it here. So you can increase that gutter to make it larger, or decrease it, or just enter your own value in. So that's working with columns inside of there. The next thing I want to cover is actually placing an image and anchoring the image. For example, if this was like a Broadway pamphlet, right, where we have a photograph of perhaps an actor that we need to place in here, and this is the biography that it's associated with. You place your image inside of a frame tool, a rectangle frame. You place it inside of there, and you've got this little icon right here. You want to basically click and drag that, and you're going to get a cursor, and wherever you drop that cursor, that is where the image is going to be linked to. So now if you, for example, select this and you start moving, notice now that image is going to travel. It's almost like it's grouped together at that particular point. So that works great whenever you have this type of layout where a graphic does not overlap and it needs to link to a specific part of the text. Now if you need to release it, what you want to do is, if you click on it, you see the anchor that tells you it's anchored. Go ahead and right click or go to Object, Anchored Object, and then release that. And now you see it's a blue icon again, so you can again click and drag to re-anchor it there. I'm going to scoot the page over and show you one more thing here. I'm going to do the same for this here. I'm going to drag this image and actually place it right here and go ahead and anchor. I'm going to click and drag the anchor right there. But in this case, the image is actually in front of the text here, right? If we look at the layers panel, and you're going to select the image here. So it's there it is selected. You can see it's right here inside of this body copy. What we want is the text to wrap around it. So you want to go to Window and make sure you have Text Wrap open. So that's the Text Wrap option here. So we want to go ahead and go from no text wrap into wrap around with a bounding box. Okay, when you click on that, it basically allows you to then move that text box or that image. It's still anchored in the same spot, but you can control basically the text wrap around it here. For example, it's the top, the right, the bottom, and the left here. So the bottom is a little too much here, so I'm going to decrease that. Okay, it's increase or decrease. Okay, and then on the right side there, we can go ahead and also decrease it as well. Okay, so you've got a lot of different options there. Now This is anchored to this text, so again, if you move it, it's going to travel with the box, but also, more importantly, if you add more body copy, I'll paste some more on this side, you see it actually travels with the anchored text and the text wrap. So that's a little bit about using the type tool, adding columns, anchoring text, and using text wrap to run graphics or images.